another episode of Outcasts to Icons. And if you are enjoying the series, please do feel free to drop a like on the video. And we are back, of course, at Ahironis, which is how it's pronounced. It also reminds me of that song. It's like, Ahironis. I was so tempted to start this episode off just by singing that, but I've decided to wait 25 seconds before singing that. I apologise, I couldn't help myself. So, lots of things have happened, of course, guys, as you can imagine. Also, massively thankful for all the advice and everything that's been happening with this new series. It really has been awesome and the response has been great, so I'm really pleased that you guys are enjoying it, because I'm really starting to enjoy this series now, and I really do appreciate it. And I appreciate that, the understanding of the fact that I can't implement everything immediately, but I am trying my hardest to do so. Like, for example, you're seeing this on Monday, I think, but I'm recording this on Friday lunchtime, so my point is that is a sort of gap that I'm usually talking about. Sometimes it's less than that, but that's about the max it's going to be. So yeah, think about it like that. Right, so a couple of things. Obviously, we had to sort out the financial issues at the club, and I don't know what that was, and I'm desperately hoping that it isn't going to happen again, because I'm keeping an eye on the under 21s and under 18s at the moment to try and make sure that they I genuinely don't know what it was. Like, I gave like 2 or 3 of the youth players some contracts last season, as I told you about, but just to fill a couple of extra places, because I didn't want to lose them basically to other clubs, because anyone can nick them. Problem is, then when I found out that all of a sudden there were loads of them on contracts and they were all on £230 a week, that's a lot, and I didn't know what to do about it. It left us in a huge debt hole, and of course we're in big trouble. Basically, the club have had to sell their training facilities, so we've got 0 training facilities, it would appear. Like, we've got nothing. It would I think if we go to the club page, well, actually we'll have a look in a minute, but like, there's just nothing, and it's worrying, because I don't know whether that's going to affect us training-wise. It must affect us in some way, so that's not so good. But I have, of course, basically what I had to do was essentially release almost the entire club's worth of players. I kept hold of a couple of the youngsters I was pleased with and wanted to keep, and plus a couple of our standout players, and some of them just we couldn't keep them. People like Kalevas, Tavru, Pavlu, all of this lot unfortunately had to go. Lugero, Moraes, because they were all on like £600 a week, and we couldn't even offer them new contracts. That was the problem. Half of the players wouldn't accept new contracts. They wouldn't even enter discussions. Half the staff wouldn't enter new contracts either. Thankfully, we are now living within our means. Unfortunately, we're still in £500,000 worth of debt, and there is a big problem that we could go into administration. However, we are still losing money. That's the problem. Even though I've balanced the budget with wages, we're still losing like 60 grand a month, and I don't know what to do. I've tried playing friendlies against some of the bigger sides just to try and get a little bit of money in, but it really doesn't. You get like £1,000 profit out of it, so it just doesn't do the trick. So what else have we got to discuss? Some of you guys, of course, will have seen that, SI, Sports Interactive, the makers of Football Manager, have released a new game in early access on Steam called Eastside Hockey Manager. It essentially uses the same kind of interface as FM, but for ice hockey. And of course, I've already had some comments about this, which is amazing, because I've not even talked about it in a video, about doing a video on it. And I'm thinking about maybe launching a series I do every now and then, just like something like SYC Investigates, where I just take a look at a game in like a one-off episode, just to sort of preview some things. And the fact is, I can hear you getting on your high horse. I can hear the horse from here. It is not going to adjust my Football Manager content at all. I'm not doing it yet. I'm just saying that it might be an interesting idea to do. And if I did do it, it would not have any effect on the content I put out. Okay? So, also, last thing, as you know from my Serbia save, I really do love getting the advice on how to pronounce names, because it's important and I want to make sure it's right. However, what I don't appreciate is people making snide comments about the way I pronounce names, as if I'm expected to somehow know how to pronounce every single name under the sun. I'm a guy from England who makes Football Manager videos. I'm not a well-travelled linguist, so I do my best, but then, got to cut me some slack from time to time. I can't get everything right, and it's never going to happen. I'm just doing my best, that is all. Right, anyway, let's get into what's actually been happening. So, one thing, I've never experienced this before, and I hope one of you guys might be able to back this up. When you get a player that's from another country, and they don't settle properly, so they say, I'm homesick, and blah, 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 what can you do about it? Yeah, it happens. It happened with our goalkeeper last year, who's Polish. Completely understandable. Got a guy coming to me less than a couple of days ago, in fact, in the game, saying he was homesick. And I was like, oh, okay, don't worry, we can send him home. I looked at him. He's from Cyprus. We're in Cyprus. What? I've never seen someone from the exact same country. He said, I can't get used to the culture. It's the same culture. What are you talking about, mate? So I don't know, maybe they have some weird food in this particular town that he just ain't into, just does not agree with his tum-tum. So I really don't know. So that's happened. But yeah, so let's talk about transfers. That's kind of what we're here for, because that is what I've done. And you'll see the outs are just absurd. So as you can see, that's the outs. lots of people. No money has changed hands either way, basically. That is the good thing. So, you know, Cara left, Chatsipiris left, Christa Delu, Efasiu, Calivasu, Gero, Moraes, Sophocleus, Trav. I don't even need to read them out. You can see who's there. That's all the players that have left the club. A lot of these you'll notice you've never heard of because they were a lot of those players that I just couldn't, the ones that just appeared. Well, they were there at the club, but then they suddenly had contracts, and I'm worried though that it's going to happen again because we're at the same time of the season where it happened last year, and I just have a horrible feeling that because obviously we've got a new load of greyed out players that might I don't know. I'm worried because I don't know if it's a glitch in the database or it was just a one-off weird thing that happened. I don't know. But anyway. Let's take a look at the players I have brought in. Now, basically, all I did was I just went to see who my scout... Because you had a year, basically, of scouting. We had 3 now. Scouting sort of Southern Europe, I believe, is our scouting range. And just looking at some places like Malta, Gibraltar, lots of places that run with Alta, and obviously, you know, Cyprus, Greece, and so on. So basically, most of the players we brought in are from those countries. One actually that isn't. We've got an Italian as well, but he joined us from a club in one of those countries, I believe. So, first player we brought in, this is Koulis Socrates. And for me, I tell you what, right, as a centre-back, got decent marking, decent tackling, he is quality, and he's only 20 years old. And also, I've managed to get some of the quite good players on ridiculously... Like, he's on the minimum we can pay. And the reason I've been able to do this is... And this is something you might want to try if you know, a lot of people said you should get loans from the big clubs. I prefer not to do that because I would like us to have our own players. You know, I want us to be able to do what we're doing with our own players rather than constantly be relying on loans, because I feel that we could probably get just as good players. Plus the wages they'd be on would be stupid if they're on the bigger sides, you'd feel. So, what you can do, give them the lowest wage possible, but then put a sell-on fee of like 50%, because the fact is they're on 1-year deals, so it's completely irrelevant, but it seems to work from what I can make out to get a lot of these players. Like, he's not the big example of that. I'll show you the big example of that in a second. But as you can see, he's got decent stats currently, 2.5 stars, but look at that potential. That's what I'm looking at here, to try and get some players that we can keep rolling over. And if he's good for us this year, I'll obviously try and give him a 2-year contract next season. That's the plan, basically, with a lot of these. So there we go, that's Socrates. Now, this is the one I'm really pleased about, and we had to sort of break the bank a little bit to give him £500 a week, but this is Prokopis Pagalis, or Pagalis. He is going to be our defensive midfielder this year, and I like him a lot. He's the one that we sort of really have had to, not break the bank for, but you can see he's got some really good attributes, and I think he's going to be good. I mean, he's more of a sort of anchorman ball midfielder, but then so was Lugero, and he still performed brilliantly as a halfback for us, so I think that this is going to be the man for that role for us this year. And again, same kind of thing with the sell-on fee. He actually wanted over £1,000 a week, but we've managed to haggle him right down there, which is good. So he's another one, and I'm really pleased with him. Next up is Angelo Catania. He's an Italian, and again, we got him £240 a week. That's quality. Decent current ability. Potential, though, is much, much higher, and he's just got good, half decent at least. I mean, his passing's a little bit poor, but other than that, he's actually got quite good stats for a striker, and he's looked decent for us in pre-season, so I'm happy with that. I'm trying to think where we actually got him from. It was Goodyear United. Where are they from? Yeah, they're from Malta. That's why we were able to get him, because he's Italian, but he plays in a Maltese league. He's got an okay record. I don't know, we'll have to see how he does, probably dropping down a level, it would seem. Next up is Giovanni Galea, who is actually Maltese. And again, £220 a week. Not too bad. He's got some decent stats for a striker. Career stats, again, we signed him... Well, we didn't actually sign him for anyone. He came from a free, but he was playing for a club called Sirens, a semi-professional team in the Maltese lower divisions. I love that there's a club called Sirens. That is glorious. Do you reckon they've got all their chants are like Sirens song, and it's just got ships crashing into the rocks? Yeah, I'm referencing Greek theology and literature here. Why am I doing that? Anyway, next up is one I'm actually very pleased with, and we needed a shadow striker, and this is our man. Seriously, he's going to be brilliant. He's got an emo fringe, so he's obviously been modelling himself after Leighton Baines a little bit, but still, ignore that for a second. This is Charalabos Nikolaou, and he is actually, I believe, the guy that wanted to go home, so that's a little bit worrying, even though he's from Cyprus, or it might be the guy underneath, I can't remember. He's a shadow striker, and he's got a lot of potential, and I think that, he's only 20, he's going to be crucial for us this year, so I'm really happy to welcome him to the club as well. And, oh no, it was this guy, sorry, my bad. It was Christos, oh no, he's Greek. Oh, well, okay, that makes sense. Okay, sorry, for some reason I thought he was Cypriot. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Still... I can't imagine the culture. I mean, obviously, I'm sure the cultures are different, of course, but it doesn't seem like a giant adjustment to go from Cyprus to Greece. But hey, again, decent player. Look at that potential. 5 stars, like no black star, just full on 5 stars. He again came in on a free after leaving Karmiotissa. So hang on, he was playing in Cyprus all of last year as well, and chose to join yet another Cypriot club. Okay, well, so he's obviously not the sharpest tool in the shed, but the point is, he's He's actually a real player, it would seem, because he's not got regen fates or anything. So, hey, cool. They're relatively young as well, which is another thing we've looked for this summer. So, tactically as well, we're using obviously the same tactic, but we've managed to change our other tactic around ever so slightly, adjusted a couple of the roles a little bit. Basically, we're going to go with this tactic against 4-4-2s and 4-3-3s, and this one against anything else for the meantime until we can sort out a sort of a third alternative that we can use against sort of those weird formations that absolutely tore us apart last season. Obviously, we'll adjust the mentality a little bit with it because I feel like we can. I don't know, I feel like, again, our season expectation is to battle against relegation. So we've kind of got a free reign there, and that's kind of good. Got some injuries, unfortunately. Cipriano and Constantino is also, and Socrates, and obviously, but again, with some of the youth players promoted, our under 21s, well, there's a couple in there, under 18s, again, some of them, they're all on £55 a week now. And, oh, God, I swear some of these were... Oh, no, that's from our youth intake. That's okay. We're okay. I was getting a bit worried again there, because I wasn't sure. I thought we had a load of greyed out players in here, and they seem to have disappeared and have contracts now. Hopefully, those contracts won't suddenly flip and become £230 a week contracts, because that would be worrying. Because if you look at the sheer numbers, it could really destroy our transfer budget. And as you can see, we are plus 54 on that at the moment. So at least on that sense, we are nice and solid. It's just a bit of a worry otherwise. Anyway, let's get into the match for today. I hope you guys are happy with the signings. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm pretty pleased with them. As you can see, there's a lot of new teams in the league because obviously with 2 teams going up and 4 going down, you're bound to have a few new ones. So we've got Akna, who I'm pretty certain were relegated from the top flight last season. Yep. After quite a long time up there, it would seem. They've actually got quite a few real players with face packs, in fact. We've got Aris. Is that Aris Limassol? I think that's probably Aris Limassol. And again, they've come down from the top flight. We've got Asia, who I believe have come up from the C division. So hopefully we should be able to win against them. We've got Erimi, who of course have come up as well. And Jalkonoris, who again have come up. But I'm wondering, there should be another team. I feel like there should be another team. Let's just quickly take a gander at the league. There should be one more team that's come up that I don't recognise. Paphos. Maybe the last place is or is it Meep? I think it must be Meep. Yeah, it's Meep. Also, the fact that they're called Meep, which is brilliant if you're Roadrunner. So, let's get into this. Match preview. What system are they playing? They're playing a 4-4-2. We're going with the legacy tactic. We're going to go for it. We're at home. Going legacy. We're going to try out some of these guys. Right. Really? No. Where is he? No, so that's the thing. He's a decent striker too. But that being said, he's going to play in his more balanced role, and I'm going to put in Galea up top. I think that's a bit more like it. And also on this right-hand side, Cipriano's injured. One area. This is the problem. We're lacking players, unfortunately. Not our fitness, but you know what I mean. Our abilities are somewhat. We've got a very small squad, and I guess a small squad isn't such a bad thing. But unfortunately, when injuries hit, it's going to be troublesome because we just can't afford to bring in any more players. We're going to have to delve into the youth. Let me just see if there is an under. No, we've not got any under 21s, have we? May as well have the whole lot on, since there's very few of them. Of course, they're unregistered, aren't they? That makes much more sense. And that means that, yeah. Oh dear. Okay, well, we're just going to have to go for this. Obviously, Pagalis, it says that, but the fact is he's a very good player. So I think that over this course of the season, that should slowly start to... And I've got him training those roles as well, so hopefully good. Players you'll recognise still from last year. We've obviously got Zayac, Sotiriou, Constantinu, who else? Casanas, of course. Who else? Constanti was here last season, I believe, as well. Stylianu, I think, also stayed. Pavlu is here. Okay. Fair enough. Nicholas Constantino as well. He's our very highly rated youngster as well. So we've got plenty of good players that we can potentially bring in. So not too bothered for now. Right, let's submit this team and get this show on the road. Galea's obviously trying to get his match fitness up at the moment by playing a few. He's been injured for a little while. So hopefully he can do us a job as that sort of defensive deep line forward type of player. They're the favourites, but then that's just how it is. This system worked so well for us last season. I'm determined to see if we can make it work again. I feel like we've actually got a slightly better team this year. The players I've been able to bring in are much more suitable for the system we play, I personally think. But let's just see how we do. See what these new guys are capable of. That is a shocker of a first touch there. Catania. See what our young Italian striker can do. Galea. Catania. It's going to be tough, but we got the formation in here so we can see if they change it, and we can make changes accordingly. We've started off well. I say we've started off well. The possession is quite equal at the moment. And they've actually had more shots than us. Christodoulou. Cypriou. it's worrying, but I would like to see if we could start the season with a win. But at the moment, I don't know. I'm just worrying about where to go with this at the moment. Pachtalias. Somebody put attacking it. That's offside. Surely that's offside. Thank you. I guess that's one good thing. We've made the pitch a little bit bigger this year. I wasn't sure if that was a good or a bad thing, but I just felt that maybe if we made the pitch a bit better, we can stretch them a little bit more. Or it could be the undoing of us this season because they can stretch us. I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe with the sort of short passing style, we maybe should have made the pitch as small as possible. He's miles offside there, so that's good. Let me just make sure we've not got it on anything else with the highlights. Right, no, we haven't. It's very even so far, but they're getting a little bit more possession, and that's a little bit worrying for now. I might up the, or not up, but lower the tempo slightly, perhaps, just for now, just to try and get a bit more of the ball. What a tackle that is. Constantinu with the ball now. They do seem to be moving very, very slowly. Catania's now in behind. Has he got support? He better have support. Come on, mate, get in the box. Catania now. He's going to go alone here. Oh, good play, Galea, and it's in the back of the net. It's 1-0 to Ahironis. That is a glorious start, and Giovanni Galea scores his first goal in the league for us, and we lead by 1-0 against, who is it we're playing? I've forgotten. Oh, Othellos. They did quite well against us last season. A little bit of luck there as it bounces back up, but Galea still had to be in the right position, and, well, I think I was justified in putting him in, even just to score that goal. 1-0 to us. Good start. Theodoru. Constantinu, that is a shocking play again, but luckily Bamachas is able to get across there and cover. It's a long ball downfield to really nobody, but it's in behind. Galea very nearly sneaking through there. I don't know if he's the paciest, but they still look like they can be got at with these long balls, and I think both teams are going to struggle with the long balls today. There's definitely more room in behind if we can get those passes. Nicolau, Galea. Again, there's more places, more room to run into. Catania now. Go on, Catania. Great goal. It's 2-0 to Ahironis. And both strikers have scored. Angelo Catania now makes it 2-0. And I think making the pitch bigger it's certainly going to create more room for goals. But I think with these types of play, we're quite good at this sort of stuff. Galea's put through. It's nice to see him actually dispatch a finish from that kind of range. 2-0 to us. That is brilliant stuff. If we can get in at half time at 2-0, lower the tempo, which we've already done. Adjust, wow, an assist and a goal for each of them. That's pretty much the perfect beginnings to what I hoped would be a very fruitful strike partnership. Gotta say, I'm pretty pleased with that first half. We're looking good at the moment. Now, we've got to keep an eye on their tactic, of course. Since Cipriano is so poor, I'm tempted to attack down the left more. I know what you're thinking, but then, I don't know, I just think that might be the best option right now. Just because, you know, play to our strengths here. Constanti is just stronger than he is at the moment. So if we can attack down the left as a sort of, you know, predisposition, that'd be good. Nicolau, actually, I think he's doing okay. He's linking up the play quite nicely. You know, we've not created stupidly amounts of stuff, but what we have created, we've scored twice. And I think that's why having a higher caliber of striker is important. They're getting a lot more of the ball here. I'm tempted to just get the tempo up a little bit because we're not keeping much possession at the moment, and maybe just boosting the tempo a little bit won't allow us to keep any more of it per se, but it might allow us to just break on them if we get the chance. Don't let him just slip this in behind. I don't want to throw this away, but it is difficult to not to do when you're actually in control of it. Oh, come on! I'm sorry, guys, but that's bullshit. Like, what is that? Like, it wasn't even a shot. He's just... What the fuck? I mean, Christ on a bike. Right, well, we're now going to have to be careful here. We're still playing okay, but that is ridiculous. I've never seen that. Oh, God, Catania's looking a little bit knackered. We're also lacking sort of striking options off the bench, which is a problem too. I need to adjust my bench as well. That's something that's quite important. I do. We're going to bring on Pavlu for Constanti. He's played well, but fresh legs perhaps. I just can't change the strikers around. Who can we... we'll save it a little bit. That's really poor, actually. I can't believe we've conceded that goal, though. That's what's most irritating about this, is that bloody goal. To start things off with that Catania. Oh, that's a poor touch, but he's done well, though, actually. Constantinu, Catania's through here, and it's in the back of the net. And that is, again, shocking goalkeeping, but it is 3-1 to us, and Agnolo Catania has got himself 2 goals today. I'm pleased. A 3-1 start. Bamachas with a lovely ball over the top. Constantinu with the flick on. His first action of the game, practically. Again, poor goalkeeping, but Catania's got 2 on the opening day, and I'm pleased, but we are going to bring one of those 2 off now. I don't care who we have to bring on in his place, just to get them off. Look, probably bring off Galea, because he's the least fit of the 3. Who have we got off the bench? Oh, that's useful. I really need to adjust the bench a bit more. I think we're kind of bathing in defenders, but we're lacking a little bit when it comes to strikers. I probably should have just pushed him up, actually. But I forgot you could play as a striker as well. That's my bad. That is my bad. Now, I'm trying to think who's best. I mean, the only midfielder that's actually on the bench is Patagonia, so we might have to bring him on for Galea. I know he can't play there. Would he be better off maybe playing here? No. Okay, that's poor. We'll just have to go with this for the rest of the game. I feel like we're probably in control enough, but we'll just do a quick team talk to see if that actually has any effect. No. Unfortunately, our manager stats, which I'm going to show you, actually, after this game. With 10 minutes to go, we're on control, so... Uh-oh, actually, we might just have to jump this back to counter. Oh, right, okay. We're going to go defensive now. Just get this one over the line. Unfortunately, we're playing with a lot of players out of position. Let's just get this one over the line. I can't believe we can see from a corner again. Disappointing. But then a lot of people say, like, you know, set pieces are going to be difficult because you don't have the good defending stats. So I'm hoping that that will just mean that we'll be able to score plenty as well, because they won't have good defending stats. That's a good finish from a corner. I feel like we deserve what we've done from this game so far. Oh, no. Come on now. The injuries. I think that's going to be the death of us this season, guys. I really do. Oh, Castanas. Ball in. And again, goal from a corner. Bamachas, it's 4-2 to us. And this is what I mean about corners. Yeah, we'll concede quite a few from them because nobody in this league can defend corners. But we'll also score quite a few because nobody in this league can defend corners. So it's been a bit of a scrappy one. We're learning from it. But a good 4-2 victory at home against a team that I think gave us a bit more trouble last year. You know, and it sends us top of the league after the first match. Not bad stuff. 4 goals as well for the opening day is pretty decent. Oh, Castanas, go on, have a shot, son. Ah. 5th goal there would have been incredible. I think we've only scored 4 on like 2 occasions this last year, but that's not a bad start, really. You know, lots of shots. Well, not lots of shots, but plenty of shots on target is so important there. Great starts for Galea and Catania. I'm really pleased with that start. I really am. Like, okay, there's a couple of little errors in there, but for the most part, we look a lot better than last season, I feel, personally. It will depend on what happens when we come up against teams playing different tactics, but again, it's shown that we're not going to be, in theory, relegation fodder this year. We're going to be all about that, you know, challenging. I really want to see if we can push for the promotion spots this year, because it'd be an amazing achievement to get us to the top flight, and... You know, if that doesn't solve the financial problems, then we might well have to resign at some point because we need to further our career. Oh, sorry, I would never resign. I already made that very clear. I won't be resigning from a role on this save. We either don't renew the contract or we get sacked, or we move to another club. Those are the only ways we're going to go. I'm not just going to resign every time we get pissed off at something. That's silly. Right, so one thing I was going to show you, actually, is my profile. Yeah, here we go. So, as you can see, a few more things have gone up. You know, technique coaching, we've got attack coaching at 7, player knowledge is at 7, but that's understandable because we've obviously got a good scouting knowledge. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that so far. We're getting there. The stats are slowly going up, and I'm hoping that we will continue to do that. Anyway, this episode's getting quite long, so we're not going to drag it out for too long. I'm tempted to do Carmio Tissa, actually, at home as our next match. Just before we do the Coca-Cola Cup game. I'm tempted to do Carmio Tissa because it's a home game, and I've yet to work out who's going to be where at the moment this year, so we know which games to do. So we're just going to do that as a kind of basis game. So guys, if you like what you're seeing, please do drop a like on the video, and if you've liked it even more than that, please subscribe to my channel for more Red Star and Outcaster icons in your inbox every single day at 5:30 and 8 o'clock, and I will see you guys in the next episode for the game against Carmio Tissa. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.